former Navy SEALs, and police officers who now volunteer their time rescuing missing children at risk of sex trafficking. Many of them have asked that we protect their identities. They do this in addition to their day jobs.
Rick is undercover out in front of the house, so as soon as you guys are set up, if you see the girls run, go ahead and snatch her up. We got a power of attorney, and then we're going to call the PD, though, and they have the police report. It's gang infested, and they got lookouts everywhere.
Today, they're helping the local police retrieve a 14-year-old girl named Lily.
Can you see the girl outside?
When Lily went missing, she was initially classified as a runaway. It's been almost a month without any active police investigation into her absence. When someone comes to Save America, what stage are they at?
Most of the parents are in a panic stage, and they're waiting for something to happen. So now the family is at a standstill. They have to go find their child on their own, and most people don't know how to do that. So we fill that gap.
Joseph's team uses social media, research, and undercover techniques to find children's whereabouts.
So what happened to the informant? If she's with him, why don't we call the cops?
As soon as they have a location, they work with the parents and police to have the child picked up.
Can you come talk to the sergeant?
Lily's mother, Ruth, has come along for the search.
Yeah, hi, Sergeant. How you doing? Joseph Travers, how are you? This is mom, Ruth. Her daughter's inside there, the 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So our guy's got a positive ID on her in the front yard, and she went back in that house.
Not going to be able to force entry on a runaway juvenile. Just telling you that right now.
Even one who's trafficked?
Unfortunately, there's allegations of trafficking, but has there been crime cases taken? Has she come forward as a victim? And even if there was, that still isn't to a position where we're going to be allowed to kick a door down and go look for somebody else. Of course, that's not within the law. We cannot do that.
The police say they don't have enough probable cause to enter the home by force. Once they surround the house, a Saved in America volunteer spots Lily in the backyard and was able to reunite her with her mom. Lily asked that we conceal her identity.
You guys get your
On January 30th, Ruth woke up to find Lily was missing, with the local police in...
So the police are saying you could have a suspicion on the house that your child could be in, and you can go there and tell them, say, my child is in the house, my child is in the house. But if they don't have any substantial evidence, they can't do nothing. All they can do is go, knock on the door and ask, is there a child here? Well, we have some suspicion that you might be holding a child something. Well, no, there's nobody ever been here. No. Sorry, I don't know who's telling you this outlandish propaganda, but no, sir, not me, not in this, never. Sorry about that. You have a great day. I see you. Bye. Click. Door closes. Police are gone. They're like, sorry, ma'am, we cannot. They said there's nobody there. There's nothing else we can do. That's all they can do. Is ask a person without any substantial evidence. They need substantial evidence. Once they get substantial evidence, they can put an arrest warrant. They cannot enter a home without an arrest warrant. If they did know the little girls were there, and they did break into the house, and did rescue the little girls, they did the rescue, and they'll save the little girls, right? But the guy can press charges on the police for breaking into his home, right? He can have the charges completely dismissed and walk away scot-free because they broke in his home, without permission. He didn't allow them to enter his home. He just completely ransacked his house. So he would get dismissed off the charges, and then he can put a lawsuit out on the city for running into his house without without an arrest warrant, without any legal documentation permitting them to, access this home. That's what the arrest warrant is permission for access to an area. So without a warrant, without that permission to access that area, a police officer cannot move forward. If they move forward without that, whatever they don't, that they're moving forward in whatever areas they're permitting themselves to access without that warrant, without that permission slip, that owner has a right to sue. First, there's negligence on the whole arrest. So whatever they go in and arrest or whatever, it's all neglected. It's all negligent because there was no authorization to this party to set forth and enter and access such area. So that right there defaults the whole arrest, and whoever would be arrested for abducting children will be set free. And then that abductee now can sue the city and win millions of dollars for them breaking into their home for them kidnapping children. You see? So even if they want to, and they know there's kids in there, without the proper documentation, they cannot rescue those children. If they do so, this abductee who's kidnapped these children will walk away scot-free, plus has entitlement to a lawsuit for hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on the county and the state. Understand, Stan? This is what we're talking about. Let's get it popping.
Their hometown in Utah concluded that Lily had run away, but there was nothing they could do since Lily had left on her own.
So when she never runs across the cop, then you're telling me she's never going to be found? You know, well, basically that's kind of how it is.
How long did it take Saved America to find Lily?
2 days.
2 months after Lily was retrieved, Ruth headed to the office of Utah Congressman Chris Stewart, hoping that he could pressure law enforcement to treat runaway cases more seriously. The congressman wasn't sure where to start.
I basically was on my own. I said, why? Is my daughter not important? Why isn't anybody listening to me? I'm not going to wait around until somebody comes and offers me help. I'm going to go out there and try to find somebody that could help me.
Yeah, and if there's something we could do to stop this from happening to someone else, we want to do that. Because not everyone's going to have a mom like you. I can tell you're discouraged. I'm sorry.
I am, because I really want things to change. I don't want nobody else to.
But I mean, don't forget you got her back.
I don't just want to be greedy and say, you know what, I got my daughter and that's all I matter. No, I want to try to help.
Why is it that when someone reports a runaway, it can be a long time before people will act on their case?
Unless it's an urgent situation, the police, unfortunately, and I come out of that field, they don't have the resources.
They acted on this situation because somebody saw the daughter.
Enforcement looks at it. It looks just like, well,
go out into the backyard.
She wanted to be with her.
So they witnessed the daughter and they told the police, yeah, she did. She went in and she went back inside.
High priority situation.
So that gave them access.
Summer Stephen is San Diego County's Chief Deputy District Attorney and Chief of the Sex Crimes and Human Trafficking Division.
That's when they got the warrant and was able to enter the home.
About 5,000 victims of sex trafficking in San Diego County annually. We don't encounter that many. We prosecute, between us and the federal government, about 100 cases a year. But there are so many more victims.
Summer could not say how much funding the Sex Trafficking Task Force receives. The San Diego Police Department declined to participate in the story.
Thousands of children go missing every year.
A private group like Saved America,
and they only have
being part of the community of resources that can be pooled for something like this. Do they help or ever harm an investigation that your team is already a part of?
They can be very helpful because victims sometimes don't trust police. You know, a private investigator doesn't have the police powers, and so long as they abide by their ethical duties of staying in their lane and cooperating and providing information to police,
child traffic enforcement, workers, and officers.
The parent as a resource. I think the greatest thing that could happen if Saved in America didn't have to exist.
Instead of that, we just hire police officers, regular police officers left and right, and all of these people, they just You know, all of these young women just stay unrescued and they stay unaccounted for. This is what it is. This is what it is. Now this gets back into, you know, you got Jeffrey Epstein, you know, you got Marina Abramovic, the blood drinker, Jeffrey Epstein. Well, let me see if I can pull something up for you guys. I'm going to show you something. Let's see if they still have this online. Let me put Jeffrey Epstein invitation to the Clintons. Let's see. Jeffrey Epstein visited the Clinton White House multiple times. Meet the ties. Jeffrey Epstein to the Trump. Maxwell first grew close. Maxwell first grew close with the Clintons after Bill Clinton left office, vacationing on a yacht. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton. Let me go into images. Okay, here's a picture of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. And then you see Jeffrey Epstein has Ghislaine Maxwell in his arms. And who is that Donald Trump has in his arms? We don't know. And we might never find out. Oh, this is Virginia Roberts. This is the one. I think this is the picture with her and Prince Andrew right here. That he says he doesn't know who this girl is. You know, that's Virginia Roberts. She was introduced through Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, to Prince Andrew. Here's another picture of Trump. Where was that? Trump and Epstein. Trump and Epstein. Where did that picture go again? Someone tried to hide from me. Trump and Epstein. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you, my people. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump, and Melania. Didn't they say Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton hate each other? Look at them hugging it out and smiling right there. And you see Hillary Clinton, she's in Donald's arms, and you see Melania, she's hugged up with Bill. And if everybody knows, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are cousins. If you look up Hillary Clinton's great-grandfather and you look up Donald Trump's great-grandfather, they have the same great-grandfather. Look it up. Do your research. I used to have the article with their whole bloodline, and it talked about their great-grandfather. He's some royal something. But yeah, it's the same guy. They're cousins. They make you think they hate each other because that's how it's supposed to be. Just like right now they got like Dr. Fauci and Donald Trump act like they're going to war with each other when they're really buds, best buds. Look at this. Ghislaine Maxwell. Now who is she with right there? Elon Musk. Oh my goodness. Ghislaine, is that you with Elon right there? Elon, is that you? Huh? Is that you, Elon? Let's keep it moving. I'm sorry, my people. I'm sorry. I'm just getting it. You know, it's just, you know, when you start going through these phases, and it's just like it's like, you know, you on that, it's like you got your poster board of crime land and criminal land, you know, and it's just crazy. Just a big poster board of all of these criminals and stuff that's going on. Okay, hold on for 1 second. This thing is just, I don't know what's going on. Is it my mouse? It's trying to make me, I gotta press onto it a little bit deeper. Okay, my people, so before we get cut off again, let's keep it moving.
From 2002 to 2004, Epstein was moving tens of millions of dollars. What was the most important story of 2019 is currently getting buried. The coronavirus is the perfect way to move global consciousness away from Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jean-Luc Brunel are currently literally in hiding to not be prosecuted as co-conspirators. They trafficked more than 1,000 women to Epstein, many of which were under the age of 18, some as young as 12.
This apartment block, he just had women on tap. He had girls on tap.
He had girls on tap. Jeffrey told me that he had
girls
over
on tap.
1,000 Jean-Luc Brunel's models / victims.
And you believe that?
I do.
Virginia Roberts Giuffre was trafficked to British royalty Prince Andrew 3 times, starting when she was 17 years old. Andrew claims to have no recollection of meeting Virginia and says that this photograph could be doctored. A polite British way of saying fake news.
Because I have no recollection of that photograph ever being taken.
He has no recollection.
Can prove whether or not
meaning, I really don't remember it.
I don't recollect that.
But he's not saying no, that it's a fake photo.
The allegations.
He's just saying I don't remember.
That this photo is a fake, that he was never there, and that he's not his arm, and they're not his fingers.
Those are his fingers. That is Andrew. This photo has been verified as an original, and it's been since given to the FBI, and they've never contested that it's a fake. And I know it's real. And he needs to stop with all of these lame excuses. We're sick of hearing it.
Get him, Virginia.
Photo.
And
get him, Virginia.
And that's the very first time I met him. And that's right before I was abused by him.
Epstein's properties were wired with hidden pinhole cameras. The Department of Justice found compact discs locked in his New York mansion safe with handwritten labels, young name plus name. Having this level of blackmail material makes Epstein an obvious target. Was Epstein a construct of intelligence communities collecting compromising material for geopolitical strategic advantage? If so, of course he couldn't live. State-sponsored manipulation of the elites at this scale would be unprecedented.
Let's go back into that for half a second. Where are we at? Look at this.
He couldn't live. State-sponsored manipulation of the elites at this scale.
This is how he kept them. It says Bill Clinton, Secret Service, 2 males, 1 female, JC, GM, SK, AP. Bill Clinton. It was Bill Clinton and 4 Secret Service. And I guess he needed 2 males and 1 female. He dudes is gay. He didn't only want, you see up there, you got Donald Trump up there. It says Donald Trump. What does it say next to his name? You can barely read it. Looks like this says poison. Poison. Something poison. But this was the type of books and stuff Jeffrey Epstein, he had collages of this. I'm talking about where all of these names and all of these people and everything they was doing and the people they was with. How many partners? You know, at what time, at what area, what location. He documented this. And they say he might have done this, documented everything for his own geo-purpose, political, you know, reason, for his own agenda. You know, for maybe someday he wanted to become president. And you know what? I'll blackmail everybody in Congress. And you know what? They're going to have to make me president and run the world. If not, I'm going to let all of this information out. I'm going to let it loose.
Would be unprecedented. Geopolitical strategic advantage.
See? Was it for his geopolitical strategic advantage?
With handwritten labels,
was he
name
planning on running for president?
Having this level of blackmail material makes Epstein an obvious target. Was Epstein a construct of intelligence communities collecting compromat?
Like, comment, subscribe, my people. You got the donation link to the Streamlabs. It's in the description box. So if you click on the donation in the description box, it'll take you right to the Streamlabs. You could donate anything from $1 to whatever you want to do. I would appreciate anything that, you know, whatever you want to contribute to the channel. It helps me, you know, to stay on my job, you know, keep doing my investigations, and it you know, it'll keep me, you know, moving forward with what we're doing, and we'll keep going, you know. We'll keep this channel alive. This channel needs to be supported. So support me with likes. Please hit the like button. I don't never get likes. I see very little likes on my channel. I got 150, 200 people watching. I should have 150, 200 likes. You know, likes are free. It's not going to kill you. Please comment to my channel. You know, if you can't jump in the chat, you know, just throw what's up in there or something. You know, if you don't want to do that, or at least when the show's over and you go back and you watch a replay, throw a comment in there. Subscribe to my channel. Don't just come and just watch the video and say, "Oh, that was cool." You know, let me see what Alkaline's doing later. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button so that when I throw a notification out, you know when's the next time I'm doing something. Go to my IG. Go to my Instagram. Alkaline City 2018 on Instagram. Alkaline City on Instagram. Go there. Check out my content on there. You know. Yeah, man. Stay up to date on Alkaline City. Like, comment, subscribe. Got the donation link. If you go to the description box, you click on it, it'll take you right to the Streamlabs. You can do that. It's right in the middle of the channel. But like I said, you just click on the description box, take you right to it. Like, comment, subscribe. That's all I want to let people know. You know what I mean? I don't get too much into telling people to like, comment, subscribe, donate, stuff like that. But I should, you know. Let people know that I care for my channel, and I care that if you care. So I do care that you care. So let's get back to the show.
Compromising material for geopolitical strategic advantage?
For geopolitical strategic advantage.
If so, of course he couldn't live. State-sponsored manipulation of the elites at this scale would be unprecedented. Almost 30 years he stayed under the radar of the general public. Only in the last year, we tripped over what seems to be one of the most important clandestine stories of the last 3 decades. Now we are being treated like little fucking kids that know the mainstream media narrative is bullshit. Generation Alpha will call us insane for not revolting against this caliber of cruelty and manipulation.
Hanging suicide.
Throughout the documentary, we will leverage 3 critical visual designs as foundational pillars. 1. The timeline. 2. The decision tree.
The timeline.
3. The question.
The decision tree.
Let's begin keeping a tab on our most important questions. 1. How do we inspire tech and military intervention in capturing Ghislaine Maxwell and Jean-Luc Brunel? 2. How do we catalyze Prince Andrew and the royal family to come clean about their involvement? 3. How do we activate the use of information found on the compact discs? 4. Was Epstein a construct of intelligence communities for geopolitical strategic advantage?
I think so.
Here are 5 4-word phrases
I think Epstein
that
about to
will
run for
help us
president.
understand why this happened. Take my private jet. Come to my island.
Yes.
Stay at my mansion.
Stay at my mansion.
I have young women.
I have young
I'll
women.
write a check.
I'll write you a check.
Ethics seem to fly out the window when money, luxury, sex, and power are offered to humans. Epstein targeted the most primordial instincts of the global elite. He got more people to think with their dicks than with their hearts. He was an ego masseuse through pedophilic honeypotting. Imagine Epstein bouncing a very attractive 22-year-old woman on his knee to taunt powerful elites like a sapiosexual Hugh Hefner. Finding no signs of childhood trauma, what were the main reasons for Epstein's actions? A swift climb up the Bear Stearns hierarchy to become a limited partner after just 4 years in 1980. Advising the bank's wealthiest clients on tax mitigation strategies, violating Regulation D of the SEC, joining Tower Financial Corporation, which imploded as one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in American history, losing investors over $800 million in today's money. By 1991, Leslie Wexner, chairman and CEO of L Brands, with flagship companies Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, Express, Bath & Body Works, granted Epstein full...
CEO of Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret, Express. Look what he does.
Chairman and CEO of L Brands, with flagship companies Victoria's
Secret,
Abercrombie &
Fitch,
Express, Bath & Body Works, granted Epstein full power of attorney over his affairs. Maria Farmer has filed...
He granted Epstein full power of attorney over his affairs. The owner of all of these places, Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, Abercrombie, Fitch, and Express. I guess Epstein provided him with so many young girls. He said, you know what? Man, this dude, I'm going to make him my best friend. I love this guy. You know what? He has full power of attorney of all of my affairs. That means that anything that he did, from documents that had to do with the hospital, or anything that had to do with him, with the Social Security, birth certificate, whatever, anything that had to do with his life, with his kids, his wife, his wills, or whatever, his businesses, anything that had to do with him, he granted Epstein full power of attorney. That means he gave him all the rights, all government rights to everything in his life. Epstein must have took care of that guy really good if he gave Epstein all of that. This guy owns Victoria's Secret, he owns Abercrombie & Fitch, he owns Express. This guy told Epstein, you could run my whole life. You could have power of attorney over everything. All I need is for you to just to keep supplying me with these young girls. Epstein was the supplier. His drug was the young women.
Held a sworn affidavit in federal court in New York alleging Leslie Wexner sexually assaulted her in the summer of 1996. Epstein attended Victoria's Secret fashion shows, hosted the models at his New York City home, and helped aspiring models get work with the company. He became fluent in offshore tax havens, reducing federal income taxes by 90% while being a part of the U.S. banking system. This cocktail of hunger for sex and greed seems to be a perfect foundation for what transpired. Epstein was apparently moving money in the tens of millions in the early 2000s and began funding heterodox science research and education through his foundation. But where are Epstein's financial and trading records? His SEC filings? His taxes? What's the source of his wealth? In 2005, evidence of pedophilia came to the surface, which quickly avalanched into 50-plus women with basically the same story against one guy. Anybody would be fucked for life if this happened to them, but not Epstein. With a quick visit to our timeline, we see that in 1953, Epstein was born. Then, in 1980, he became an LP at Bear Stearns. In 1991, Leslie Wexner granted him full power of attorney over his affairs. Also in 91, Robert Maxwell died with his stolen $570 million fortune in pension funds. In 95, Ghislaine Maxwell became Epstein's best friend and began creating playbooks for procuring girls. In 2001, Virginia Roberts Giuffre was trafficked to Prince Andrew. From 2002 to 2004, Epstein was moving tens of millions of dollars. He began funding heterodox science, and this even includes the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. And in 2005, evidence finally arose of pedophilia, and that very quickly snowballed into 50-plus women. His lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, who Virginia says she was trafficked to at least 6 times, the earliest when she was 16, helped negotiate the deal of a lifetime for Epstein. He ended up only pleading guilty to a state charge of procuring for prostitution a girl below age 18. How did our justice system produce such a careless result which essentially shut down an ongoing FBI probe into whether there were more victims and other powerful people who took part in Epstein's sex crimes? Alexander Acosta, then the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, said he offered a lenient plea deal because he was told that Epstein belonged to intelligence, was above his pay grade, and to leave it alone. To give you an idea of what our justice system is supposed to do,
the judge was told
into fuck you power. Harvard's endowment is over $40 billion US, which is more than the GDP of each of the bottom 100 countries on Earth. Plus, we still don't have a clear answer on US elite universities accepting foreign bribes and if intelligence agencies are exposing this vulnerability to spy. Why was Epstein even funding heterodox science? This may be one of the most important points of this entire documentary that Eric Weinstein has been adamant about drilling into our consciousness. The USA is slowly forgetting about the group of scientists that literally birthed the economy that we are all flourishing in today. Theoretical physicists, whose discoveries have given us semiconductors, which are the basis of all modern electronics, communications, including telecom, the internet, GPS, electromagnetism, including the spectrum, nuclear power, weapons, molecular biology, which unlock the code of life, and all the macro-micro optical imaging equipment, the medical of which saves your family's lives. Now, if the theoretical physicists who work almost the entire modern-day industrialized world sound like a group of people you're interested in keeping around, Jeffrey Epstein was interested in them too. As Eric puts it, a Ferrari that we left with the top down with "Steal Me" written on it in different languages. Epstein found this niche, and other intelligence communities from around the world will find it too if we don't pay the top members of the scientific community who literally created our economy. It's a question of national interest. 2 words: theoretical physics. 3 more questions to add. 13. What were the terms of each of the Epstein-Maxwell out-of-court settlements? 14. Why is Harvard University not returning the Epstein money?
Why are they not returning it?
15. Was Epstein exposing the weakness of our theoretical physics community being poorly funded and ready to be stolen? Alright, back we come to the timeline. As you remember, after the evidence of pedophilia surfaced in 2005 and snowballed into 50-plus women, in 2008, when Alan Dershowitz negotiated the deal of a lifetime, when Alexander Acosta is told to leave it alone, and how Epstein served just 13 months. From 2010 to 2019, there have been this myriad of lawsuits against Epstein and Maxwell being settled for undisclosed sums outside of court. In 2010, Prince Andrew visited Epstein in New York City after Epstein had served a sentence and had all of the pedophilia records exposing him. In 2015, Virginia Roberts Giuffre exposes Jean-Luc Brunel's MC2 modeling agency as sex traffickers to Jeffrey Epstein. Also in 2015, ABC News interviews Virginia and the royal family threatens ABC. In 2016, WikiLeaks publishes John Podesta's emails allegedly containing pedophilia code words. Alright, on to our next section.
Sir, we take every inmate's life very seriously in the Bureau of Prisons. A high-profile inmate is no more important or significant in terms of our operations than just the average inmate that comes our way.
We should be treating people who are yet to testify against other felons, against other rapists. They have a lot more priority for your institution, don't they?
But you and I both know they can make this a top priority and get it done more quickly than they normally would.
Attorney General William Barr described Epstein's death as a perfect storm of screw-ups. After being found unconscious, 6 days later taken off suicide watch, signing his last will the day before, 2 cameras malfunctioning, 2 guards falling asleep at their desks, the most prolific pedophile on trial in the United States manages to get away without justice. Nicholas Tartaglione was Epstein's cellmate who was threatened by jail guards to stop talking after describing Epstein's death and conditions to the media. It goes without a doubt that Nicholas should be extensively interviewed, and so should the 3 executors listed on Epstein's last will, Darren K. Indike, Richard D. Kahn, and Boris Nikolic. Where is Epstein's trust agreement document that was not attached to the will? The footage from the July 23rd incident of Epstein being found unconscious was claimed in January 2020 to be permanently deleted due to a clerical error. Epstein was reportedly depositing funds into prisoners' accounts to gain favors and buy protection. Epstein's left and right thyroid cartilage was fractured, and his hyoid bone was broken, which is said to be more indicative of strangulation than suicide. The blood on Epstein's neck was absent on the bed sheets. The front and back lesions on his neck are more evident of a wire/cord from his CPAP machine than a strip of bedsheet. Guards say they cut him down, but from what? The top bunk? Could someone actually hang themselves this way? The two guards are Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, who need to tell us the exact body position when they first encountered him. The noose looks like it's still hemmed. What tool did they use to cut the noose? They took his body out of the cell against protocol. It was a crime scene. If this wasn't a suicide, who, how, and why did someone sneak in for this homicide? What time did Epstein's cameras start malfunctioning? Even if the cameras malfunctioned in front of the cell, how about other footage from inside the cell block area to see if anyone else potentially entered? It is said he was buried on September 5th, 2019 in Palm Beach next to his parents in an unmarked grave to prevent vandalism. I'm curious which medications exist that can send him into a coma for a month and then for him to be dug out of his grave and resuscitated. How did Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, who failed to do their 30-minute checks on Epstein, each finance their $100,000 bail? I'd place mandatory lifelong financial oversights on their accounts and Warden Lamin Nidaye, medical examiner Barbara Sampson, and their families to make sure they don't get heavily compensated in the next decades for this. They must all be extensively investigated. We know one thing for sure. A lot of powerful people are trying to get out of this situation without punishment.
So once again, Michael Thomas was the guard. He needs to come out and speak up and say his piece on how he found Epstein the right way. On an interview, he needs to go on the Breakfast Club or Hot 97, Ebro in the morning or something like that. The medical examiner, she needs to be questioned. The warden, he needs to be questioned. Was he a friend of Epstein? Did he know Epstein? And Tova Noel, the guard, she needs to be questioned, the other guard too. The two guards, the medical examiner, and then this warden. Because Epstein took care of all the lawyers and all the judges. And the judges are best friends with the wardens of the jail. And if they say Epstein is our guy, that means that Epstein is his guy too. Probably good friends of Epstein. So you think he's going to let Epstein just die like that? I don't think he was killed. I think they escaped him through the back door and he was good to go. Let me show you something, right? Let me look up. Let's look up. It says the skulls, are you ready to be reborn? The skulls, initiation. The skulls, leaving the skulls. I see a face on every skull. The skulls movie clip, good life. Skulls challenged to a duel. Skulls the movie part 1. Skulls 2 ending. Skulls review. Skulls. Trailer. Skulls were death. I'm trying to find the scene in the movie. There's a movie called The Skulls. It's about the skull and bones. And there's a movie, there's a scene where he's about to get hit with life in jail for murder, and right when he's sitting down ready to see the judge, a bailiff tells him, come with me. And he thinks he's going to get life in jail. The bailiff opens the back door of the court and he goes, have a great day. And he's like, what the hell? But let's go to let's see if they do the reborn part over here. Let's check this out. Let me show you this real quick. This is how they get initiated. Hopefully, I'm allowed to see this. I will get to see this part. Here we go. So supposedly this kid was just an average kid. Well, he's not the average. He was like a straight. Well, he didn't have no special parents. You know, his parents weren't Freemasons, and he wasn't of the bloodline. So it shows you how can you get in a society like the Skull and Bones if you're not of the bloodline. Well, he had to be a perfect student. Like, he was a perfect kid since he was like kindergarten. Always a straight A student. Student body. You know, class president, you know, valedictorian. He was like the perfect kid from like born to high school all the way to college. So because he was the perfect kid, he was like the perfect standard for a society like a Skulls. You know, that's the type of body that they want in their, you know, in their society. So this is how they grab like an average kid into a society like a Skull and Bones. So he tells his friends, "Now I wouldn't be a part of it," but they kind of like manipulate your situation where they induct even if you don't want to be inducted, and even if you don't want to become a part of the society, you kind of wind up becoming a part of it anyway. You're like forced into the society. So there's no escaping it. So when a secret society really wants you to be a society member, but this is how they become a society member. And this is the Skull and Bones, and this is Yale University. That's where the Skull and Bones house is. It's on Yale. It's in Yale University. They have a big castle over there, and that's where they do their indoctrinations. So this is the indoctrination of becoming a Skull and Bone member. George Bush Senior, George Bush Jr., all the Bushes, the Clintons, the Kennedys, everyone that's a Skull and Bone, the Obamas, this is what they had to go through. Well, Obama's a boule. It's like a Skull and Bones, but it's like the black version.
You're gonna have a heart attack in 30 minutes. Good to see you. Hello?
Lucas McNamara, please.
Yeah, may I ask who's calling? Luke. It's for you. Won't say who.
So they call them up, they're not going to say who they are.
How does anybody know you're up there?
Oh, shit, it must be out dollars.
Listen to what happens.
Are you ready to be reborn?
Are you ready to be reborn?
Payphone, outside that building, 40 seconds.
Payphone, outside the building, 40 seconds. So that's what they call it. When you become a society member, they call it being reborn. It's like your old soul died, and now you're reborn with a new soul into a new life. A new life of this society. So they just said payphone outside 40 seconds.
Outside that building, 40 seconds.
Hey, look, wait, hey!
Look!
The Astrolab, 20 seconds. Lose the bike.
This is at Yale University. He's running through the hallways of Yale.
Windowsill.
windowsill. Look. They know everything. It says, drink me. Look at the cup. Look at the emblem inside the cup. There's a skull head in it. It said, drink me. It told him to drink it. He has to follow orders. He's lightheaded. He's woozy. He can't even stand up. Passes out. Now look where he wakes up at. He's being reborn. They all become reborn. So when they're reborn, they wake up from the dead. So how do they wake up from the dead when they're reborn? They wake up out of a casket. You see, they're reborn. They died and now they're reborn into a new life. See them? They're all woke. All the ones who have been indoctrinated into a society have been reborn again. They woke up. They're waking up in like a sewer hole. In a casket.
Guess this one didn't make it through the reborn part. You better check it, please. I don't know. Maybe we didn't react too long to the drugs.
Now check this out. Right? They said this is the same thing that George Bush, that this is how George Bush was reborn. They have all of his information. So I don't know.
Guys, that's gonna be it for today.
How far we were.
Subscribe to my channel. Appreciate y'all watching.
I know we were over. Oh, I know where we were at. We were right here. So we